So step one of doing a neurographic art inspired piece is to set an intention and feel some emotion around that. So my intention today is going to be, I would like to make more money. And the emotion I'm going to tie to that is happiness, freedom, the ability to share with others, joy. So what I like to do is on the back of my art paper, I like to write the date. Today is 3/16/2026. And what my intention was, which was make more money. All right. And my emotion tied to that is happiness. Oh, one I forgot. Less stress and joy. Okay. So now I'm going to turn this over. That's step one. Next, we're going to draw our lines. These are called mindful lines. And you start at one edge of the page and you just start making lines. And swirl around and go off the page. If you want to add another line, feel free to do that. And off the page. I'm going to make one more line. And while I'm making these lines, I'm telling myself, making money is easy. Money comes to me easily. Okay, so there are my mindful lines. Now that you have your lines on your page, this is where the meditative part of this comes in. Anywhere two lines intersect, you need to round off those corners. And what that means is, for example, right here, I have two lines that intersect. An intersecting line like that means you have a block or your pathway is blocked. So you need to soften that. You need to release that block. And you do that by just coloring in the corners here. Make little U shapes, okay? All four corners of an intersection. And we're going to do that throughout. This is actually the meditative part of this. It's very calming. It helps get you in flow because you're so focused on doing this that your mind doesn't have time to think about everything else. Because trust me, you're looking around trying to find all these. You don't know where you're going to find them. And there's a lot of different ways to round these off. Like this small area here, I would just kind of make a circle here. Okay, and that will round them off. Okay, so as you start rounding off, just keep telling yourself what your emotions are or what you believe about this intention. You know, that it is easy for money to make money, that the universe is generous and money is abundant. Don't think in terms of negatives like, oh, I'm no longer in lack. Well, lack is a negative term. You want to be what you believe, the goal is. I am abundant, not I am in lack, or I am going to come out of lack. I am not in lack. Those are all negative connotations, and so you don't want to use that type of language. You want to be as if you already have it. Now I'm going to speed this up. Okay, I think I have them all. Oh, here's one I missed right here. And of course, you can always, continue rounding them off if you find them as we move along. So that is called rounding off. It's unblocking any obstacles in your way. It's clearing the path for them. You can also take this time to smooth out any lines that are kind of rough. I use a pretty thick marker, so I don't have any lines that are, skimpy. At this point, if you want to, you can add a shape to your design. You can draw a circle. Sometimes I've done butterflies and hearts. This is not neurographic therapy. This is neurographic-inspired art. So do whatever you want to with your drawing. I'm going to cheat here. I've got a teacup right here. I'm just going to set it over here, and I'm going to trace around it. And I'm going to add a circle to my drawing. And it doesn't have to be this perfect. If you want to just do a random easy circle, you can do that as well. But wherever you've added your shape now, you need to go back through and make sure you round off any new corners. Now, in neurographic therapy, there are 3 main shapes that are used: circles, triangles, and squares, and they have meanings. Circles go on forever, so there's that kind of a meaning. I'm not really going to go into those since this is not therapy, this is just art. But, you can always, that's always something you can look up. I just like to do this for the fun of making the art like this. They turn out really, really cool. I like to do these in watercolor, as well as markers or crayon or colored pencils. I've not used crayons yet. I might here someday soon. I'm not a fan of crayons because I don't like the smell, believe it or not. I know it's kind of weird, but that's just me. So I think I have all of those done. Okay. Now, a lot of people at this point would go in and add things to their drawing. A lot of people like to do Zentangles in these things, write positive messages in places, maybe do some doodling, whatever. I prefer to just do the painting or the artwork or the markers. So that's what I'm going to do next. So now that I have my drawing, I'm going to go in and start adding some color to it. Now, in neurographic therapy, they say that you should never put one color down in an area without coloring the space next to it. They're kind of like soul sisters or something. It makes it a companion. You can't have a lone little area here in pink and then, there's nobody around to play with, that sort of thing. So you've got to, you're supposed to, always make sure that you do at least 2 adjacent areas together. I found another spot. See, this is tedious to find these things, but that's the good part of it. This is the flow state. Trying to find, this is the calming, de-stressing part of all of this. I don't know how I missed all these. Okay. I'll keep that around in case I find more. All right, so pink doesn't really speak to me today. I'm going to pick, it's a snowy, icky day today. We had 70 degrees the other day and now it's snowing, so that kind of bums me out. So I'm going to go with some kind of an orangey color here. Doesn't say what color it is, but I'm just going to go in and color these in. Another thing they say in neurographic art therapy is that you should not use watercolors for these, because the idea of using the stroking motion is part of the therapy as well. I don't know. Again, we are doing this for art, so I think these are kind of cool when we're done. So, but I am going to stick to the rule of not leaving any color by itself. Don't want any abandoned squares here. And of course, after you get it colored, if you want to go back in and do Zentangles, feel free to add to it. Let's see, let's go up this little circle up here. Okay, a little deeper color. Let's see what color this is. It's a little bit deeper. Let's see, orange and purple. Let's try that over here. We'll do these in purple. And again, I'm going to speed this up while you guys watch. Okay, I'm going to do one more check to find any areas that I did not round off that I saw when I was coloring. Okay, I think I have all the corners rounded. If I were doing this in watercolor, I'd go ahead and add some color around here, but I like to keep the image contained here. Now, I just noticed that this looks like a heart. So I'm going to emphasize that by making my black line stronger. It did not start off this way, but look how much of a heart that looks like. I have a red marker, so I'm going to outline that in red to make it stand out. And I cannot stress enough that this is not about making perfect art. It is about releasing stress. It's about being in the flow for a moment and not worrying about other things. Just doing what you feel like. I picked up colors randomly. Didn't even know I was getting some of the colors I got. I didn't know they were the colors that they were. There's my heart. So there we have it. That is our neurographic-inspired art for tonight. Thanks so much for watching.